Welcome, everybody, to Nerds with Friends. My name is Cody Leach, and as always, I'm joined by Cristian Garcia.
Yo, fully vaccinated, out here.
I hate you.
Fucking ready to not be able to still do shit.
And won't stop complaining about it.
Dude, that second one, the Pfizer, if anyone's getting the Pfizer, the second one hurt.
I'm going to get it just so I could be like, nah, you're a little bitch.
So this is what happened. I went there, and like the first time I got the vaccine, it didn't hurt at all. The nurse, I didn't feel it at all. And about 4 hours later, I started feeling like someone had punched me in the arm. This, when I get there, she gives me the shot, and right away, it felt like someone punched me in the arm. And I told her, I was like, this one really hurt. Other than the first one. She's like, yeah, we got a new vendor. They're giving out different needles. The gauge on this one's different. And a lot of people have been complaining about the pain. So, I don't know. It fucking hurts. But whatever.
Well, you're lucky to get one. So just consider that.
Yes.
But I'm glad that you're vaccinated. Makes, hopefully the world will start opening up a little bit more. So we can
start licking people's faces soon.
Yeah, can't wait for that. You guys, thank you for listening. Last episode is already doing pretty well, where we talked about Gun Plus, so we appreciate that. Make sure you follow us on all the social medias. All that stuff is available at nerdswithfriendspodcast.com. And of course, if you want to support the show, you can check out patreon.com/nerdswithfriends. Lots of cool benefits on there, including getting to come up with an episode idea, which is what last week's Gunpla Gundam Model episode was about. So if you guys want to suggest something cool, like, pup play or Legos.
Were you trying to say butt play?
Pup play.
Pup play.
Pup play.
Is that a thing?
That's where you dress up as a dog and like.
Isn't that a furry?
No, that's like that could be any number of anthropomorphized animals. Pup play is where you put like a leather dog muzzle and you go around on all fours.
Oh, okay.
And then the other person in the relationship is like the dog owner.
Yeah.
And you like, you roll around, they scratch your belly and jerk you off and stuff.
I actually met, while working at a coffee shop, a couple that came in.
Yeah.
And it was a guy. The guy was the one holding the leash, and it was a girl.
Nice.
And I remember she came up, and I'd asked her, like, what would you like to drink? And she turned to him. Yeah. And he was like, you may speak. And then she told me, and then I think she like.
That's your run of the mill, dominatrix submissive.
Oh no! Thing. And then she meowed or barked after. I don't remember.
But she wasn't crawling around on knee pads with a literal dog like muzzle.
No,
on her face.
she would.
Doesn't count.
She would squat around. Now, what made me really uncomfortable is that it was a white dude and a black girl, and I was like, "Oh, this is not good." I was like, "This is not good." Not my thing, though. You guys do you.
Yeah. Whatever gets you hard. Whatever gets you hard and or wet.
Yeah, I was just like, just to hurry up and take your drinks.
Yeah, he's like, can you put it in a bowl for this dog that I have with me?
Like, oh God, get out of here, get out of my store.
Pours it on the ground, lick it up. Jesus Christ, this is a Starbucks.
I didn't see what they did, but I wouldn't be surprised if they did it.
Oh, I'm sure they went home and fucked each other's brains out.
Probably.
That's how that stuff works. Another fun nerdy news. It was your birthday, Cristian.
Yes.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Cristian.
That's our intern in the back. We're still training him.
Unpaid intern.
I said he was gonna be the producer, but
yeah, we'll see.
We'll see.
Producer of coffee, if you know.
You suck.
Yeah, there he goes.
There he goes. Lost that promotion chance. But because it's your birthday, I decided to get you, as many people do, a birthday gift.
Nice.
So you want to open that up?
Yes.
And for our audio listeners, you're going to have to describe the stuff that's in there. And please don't unplug anything.
Shit, it's heavy. Okay.
It is heavy. It's weighted with authority, Cristian.
Nice. Ooh. It is. Oh, the Mistborn trilogy. So this is the Brandon Sanderson. So this is before Stormlight Archive?
Correctamundo.
Very nice.
So this is Brandon Sanderson's first trilogy of books, his first fantasy world kind of thing. I mean, he had done Elantris and stuff, but this was the first one that like really launched him into stardom. So it's the first 3 books of Mistborn. There is a second trilogy that comes after this, where basically it takes place like hundreds of years afterwards.
Now you're gonna got me reading. I do all audiobooks, but now
you gotta fucking read and grow your brain some. You know what I mean?
Oh, it's Tor. I didn't even know you worked with Tor.
Yeah.
I read a lot of their short stories, and they have a lot of free short stories on their website.
Yeah, Tor is great. They did famously the Stormlight Archive, and the Wheel of Time is what I was trying to say. But yeah, that's a good one. One of my favorite Brandon Sandersons. Okay,
Oh, very nice.
So this is for your Gunpla obsession, your new obsession.
Yes.
And it's a hobby knife, X-Acto knife, some people may call it. And it's it's made by Army Painter, so it's a good quality one. It's got some extra blades in there.
Very nice.
So that'll take care of some of those, the flash and stuff that comes on the side.
The fucking thing that was bugging the shit out of me that no one could see.
Exactly.
Oh, nice.
Okay. So these are some flat-sided precision cutters.
So I don't have to use my toenail cutter?
Toenail clippers, yeah. Jesus Christ.
Hey, it worked.
Yeah, this should work a little bit better. So that's for clipping them out of the sprues and stuff.
Very nice.
Mm-hmm.
Goggles. Do you use goggles?
Nah, fuck that.
I've never had an issue with...
I'm not a pansy.
Yeah. I got glasses. It's fine.
Yeah. These actually look like pretty nice
What?
ones, too.
I actually almost bought this the other day.
Yeah?
This is dope. So this is the complete... what is that? Fucking...
Concordance?
The Dark Tower. So it's... I was reading, so this was a fan that made it because Stephen King would lose track because he took him 30 years to complete the saga. So
right.
Someone made a fan made everything that happens and would send it to him so he wouldn't forget the order of things, and then he just made it official.
Mm-hmm. Sorry for the zooming on YouTube. The freaking camera's deciding something crazy this time. Just do what I want, camera. Yeah, that's a cool one. I thought, I thumbed through it a little bit. It's got some cool, basically you can look up one person. I want to look up, I don't recognize any of those, but Crescia. Crescia was one of the baronies located in the west of Gilead. It's a barony seat of Indri, and it just goes over everything. So you can look up every little reference, every character. Very, very cool. And this is the most updated version.
Yeah, there's 6 or 7.
Yeah, I'm sure as he keeps writing books that keep tying back in, there's going to be more and more.
Is this Toxic Avenger?
It's a Toxic Avenger. So I actually bought that for you years ago at Comic-Con, and I just kept forgetting to give it to you. So there you go. That's why Alex Pardee is one of my favorite artists, and I make sure to buy something from him every time at Comic-Con.
Oh, nice. I remember when you got this at Comic-Con.
The Comic-Con of Broken Dreams, if you recall. So that's Charlie the Choo Choo, which is a fictional children's author and book that is referenced in the Dark Tower.
Blaine is a pain.
Yeah, Blaine the Pain Train. And I famously or infamously, they released it at Comic-Con several years ago under this, I forget what the publisher, it's Random House or something like that, or Penguin Publisher or something. And it said hey, Charlie the Choo Choo signing at Comic-Con. And we're like, oh shit, everyone who was in the know
thought it was going to be Stephen King.
Oh fuck, Stephen King's going to be there signing this children's book. That's going to be fucking sick. So there's obviously a huge, gigantic line, a line that this small little publishing booth, there's no way they could handle it. It was trampling over people and stuff. And we were all super excited. And we go there, and finally I get my space in line, wait, and we're all dude, it's going to be so sick to see Stephen King, because he doesn't do a lot of signings and stuff anymore. He never really has. And I was talking to these two dudes in front of me who, they were both really excited. And they go up there, and then it's around a corner, so you can't really see. And they come back, and they're both holding the book and looking over it. And so I was like, yeah, it was him. And they're like, yeah, thumbs up. Oh, it was sick. And I get up there, and it's some random lady. And I'm like, what? Who the fuck are you?
You're not Stephen King.
Yeah, you're not Stephen King. And so she was like, oh, thank you for coming. And I'm like, she's like, do you want me to make it out to anybody? I'm like,
no.
Cody, I guess.
Stephen King to come and sign this?
Yeah. And she signs it as Beryl Evans, who is a fake author from the book. And so it's I don't know who this lady was, because Beryl Evans is not a real person. I don't know if she wasn't the artist, because I think there's a male artist for it. I was so upset.
It's just the intern, fuck it.
I was was so mad. And like, I could not believe that publishing company had trolled us all. I don't know if like the original...
having them like turn so you can't see who's there probably was on purpose, you know.
Well, not only that, but like so you know how like Comic-Con, all the really big booths, you know, like WB, Marvel, they have a huge area and it's like out in the middle of the floor, right? This is a small little publishing company, and it's not one of the really big ones either. It wasn't Tor, who they normally have a pretty big booth there. It was a small little company, and so they're in the middle with a bunch of other stuff around. It's only like 2 tables long, and it was just
they got you.
They fucking got me. I was so sad. But it was such a bummer. But it is a very cool book to have, and I actually compared it to mine. There are slight differences in it.
Oh, they upgraded?
They changed some of the text around. This one has like the full barcode ISBN number or whatever on it, because the one I had was never supposed to be. That was another thing that's kind of shitty. It was never supposed to be made ever again. Like, it was a promotional thing only, and of course now they make it so anyone can
They're
buy
probably
it.
like, there's a lot of Stephen King fans.
Yeah.
We can use the money.
Yeah, fuck all those guys who waited in line and got disappointed. They can get fucked.
Yeah. They don't even remember, probably.
Now, when I got it, there used to be an app that was, I don't remember what the app was called. It was called like the Tet Corporation app or something like that, where it was an augmented reality phone app, and you could scan pages, and certain pages would do stuff.
Nice.
So I don't know if that's still active or what, but we can check that out. But yeah.
Thank you. You're dope.
You're welcome. Hopefully those tools will help you out with your Gundam stuff, and please read Mistborn so I can have someone to talk about it with. All right. Enough of those shenanigans. Let's do some nerdy confessions where we confess the things that make us nerds. What's your nerdy confession?
I got in trouble a little bit by the missus because I started watching Godzilla vs. King Kong. I didn't know I was supposed to wait for her, so I'm 30 minutes in, so now I'm probably still going to finish it and then apologize. Flowers, right? That fixes not watching a movie with your partner, right?
Yeah, exactly. You know, Flowers, I think, is a
She actually listens, so she's going to hear that I'm going to do that. I'm sorry. If you're listening, I'm sorry, but I'm going to do it.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think that, you know, it's okay to... Hold on, I'm trying to figure out this freaking...
Technical issues.
Yeah, you keep talking about watching Godzilla. What did you think so far?
It's 2 hours. It's nothing, no big fight had happened. I actually was getting to the big fight, and I'm not ruining anything because it's all...
I mean, it's monsters fighting.
But I was literally getting to the boat part, and that's been all over the trailer, so, you know, I didn't ruin shit.
Yeah.
I mean, I like it so far. I mean, it's not... I think a lot of these monster movies, when they try to do, like, these big kaijus, like, they usually feel rushed, and it's like, all right, you know, let there be time to breathe, you know, and let's make it make sense of why, what's going on. And so far, it's been doing that. Like, I haven't been disappointed. I'm happy with what I've seen so far, so...
Cool. Yeah, I've seen some people online be like, "This movie's stupid. I don't get it." And I'm like,
no, a lot of people were. It was kind of weird. We're saying like, "Oh, it was like not intellectual." Like, it's fucking King Kong.
It's King Kong Godzilla. It's 2 giant monsters fighting. Let's calm down. We're not looking. You know, it's not directed by like Darren Aronofsky or some shit like that.
Calm the fuck down.
There's no hidden meaning underneath it. It's like, oh, what if we had 1 monster last time? Now let's do 7 monsters. It's like, okay, cool. You know, it's what I want. You know, so. I'm excited to watch it.
Yeah, so far what I've seen, I like. So
cool, very cool. My nerdy confession is I have recently started reading Warhammer books.
Nice.
So
not the instructions.
Not like the game books, like the which I have read those as well, like the codices and the core rule book, which. Honestly, one thing that's interesting about Warhammer compared to, say, Dungeons & Dragons, which is kind of the world that I came from, Dungeons & Dragons, like the player's handbook, doesn't have a lot of lore in it, right? No. It's mostly just how to play the game, how to buy things, the weapons available, that sort of stuff, a lot of stat stuff.
It does have a little bit of lore.
It has a little bit, yeah, sure. There's some in there. But a lot of that stuff comes from, like, either modules that you're playing, or the monster manual, the dungeon master guide. So some of the peripheral books, there's more and more of that, right?
Yeah, like Something's Guide to Everything,
Xanathar's Guide to Everything.
Yeah, that one has. I actually was kind of going through like a book. It does explain like a lot of the devils and the demons and then,
right,
like,
all the gods and deities.
yeah, and I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. I didn't know that like they fucking hate each other and they're at war and stuff. And went into actually some of like I forgot the head devil, but like how he actually had to plead with the angels his case, and he actually like they had like a judgment, and he actually won the case. Like they're like, oh shit, all right, he does help out. Like he's not all evil.
He's not all evil. I mean, you got to have someone run in the underworld, right?
Yeah, well, he's basically like, if it wasn't for me, all these motherfuckers would be running crazy. The demons would take over. We're the only ones fighting the demons. They would go into your plane and do this.
Yeah.
He's like, if anything, you should be thanking me.
All right, calm down. I just asked you why you were here. Jesus Christ. Devil over here. Jesus. But yeah, so with Warhammer, in those core books, though, you get mostly lore. The game's actually not that complicated, which is kind of sucks because, like, for instance, to play, like, I'm building a Raven Guard army. To play Raven Guard, you need the core rule book, which is like $65. You need the Space Marines Codex, which is another $50, and then you need the Raven Guard Supplement Codex, which is another $35.
Or you could just go to Reddit and probably find it for free.
Oh, I've definitely found it for free. I found it online, but at the same time, I don't want to, like, when you're playing a game, you don't want to be scrolling on your phone a million times, right? And so in each of those books, there's maybe, and they're thick books, like same size as the player's handbook for Dungeons and Dragons, but in each of those books, there's maybe like, I don't know, 20, 30 pages of actual content that you need. The rest is all lore, which is cool. Like if you want to learn about the army and stuff, but if you're trying to just scrape together enough to play an army, it's like I've just spent, $150 for a pamphlet of rules kind of thing.
Smart businessman.
Dude, Games Workshop is going to take over the hobby world for sure. They have to make more money than Wizards. Well, Wizards of the Coast has like card games and stuff like that, but I mean the monetary draw of Games Workshop is crazy. But that's besides the point. So I started reading the actual novels.
Okay.
And I started with the Horus Heresy, which is a big giant event in Warhammer 40K. I'll give you a little background and see if this is something you'd be interested in. So in the world of Warhammer 40K, mankind is ruled over by the Emperor of Mankind. He doesn't have a name, just a title. That's who he is. And he's basically this godlike, being who like has been basically like, I think there's some lore that says like Jesus and Buddha and all these different gods over time have been based off of him because he's been he's a perpetual. He's been living forever, basically. So
he was never mortal. He was always a god.
Yeah, he was like. There's some even crazier things where he was like some entities in the cosmos like created him or something like that. He's always been. He looks like a man, but he's always been like godlike power. He's like he's the most skilled psyker, which is a psychic person, and a crazy warrior, right? He decided that he needs people to help him, rule the galaxy. So he creates 19 sons, or 20 sons, through using his own genetic material.
Okay, now when you say son, we're talking stars or we're talking
children?
Okay, got it.
So he basically genetically grows these 20 babies, and then through an event that's kind of like a lot of this events in Warhammer are left in the Dark Ages, so you don't know exactly what happened. But these 20 babies got separated from Earth, so they got sent out amongst the different stars and planets, and grew up in various different planets. And those sons are called Primarchs, and they grew up to be like demigods essentially.
Okay, so they live forever too.
Mm-hmm. And so, and each one is, because they grew up on different planets, this is a cool lore piece, because they grew up on different planets, they all have different like personalities, right? So like there's Leman Russ, who is the Primarch of the Space Wolves. He basically grew up on like a Viking planet. So all the Space Wolves they fucking have like orange beards and axes, and they ride on the backs of dire wolves. And Space Marines can't normally get drunk because they have like super metabolisms, but they found a way of like distilling the stuff that they call it like it's like a play on mead. It's like mayod or something like that. And they drink it and it would kill a regular human being, but they drink it to get drunk. Yeah. And so, and his first and favorite Primarch that he made was Horus, who's like, he was leader of the Luna Wolves, Space Marines. And Horus basically, during this book series that I'm reading, he basically falls to chaos, and chaos is like just evil in general,
right?
Which lives in the warp space, which is how they travel from star to star, kind of thing. It's like hyperspace, in Star Wars or Star Trek. But apparently in this universe, hyperspace is inhabited by these demons, these 4 chaos demons. And Horus basically gets seduced by the power of the warp and of chaos, and fights against the Emperor. And so this series I'm reading is all about that. And it's so cool because it starts out and Horus is like this huge war hero. The Emperor lets him take over this great crusade that they're on, going through space. So he's the war master of the entire Imperium of Man. And like it is mostly from the point of view, at least so far, of this one guy named Loken, who's like one of his captains. And you could just like, the whole time he's just like, oh my God, Horus is so sick. He's so awesome.
So these 20 sons, though, they don't war within each other.
No, at least not at first. They basically, each one of them leads a legion of Space Marines. So for instance, the army I'm building is Raven Guard, and their Primarch is Corvus Corax, who is this like super emoed out stealth guy. But he was I like him because he's got fucking huge metal wings and like these lightning claw things. And he basically he grew up on like a slave planet, and he fucking rose up and freed all the slaves. Like Abraham Lincoln.
Like listening that you said Space Jesus has guys with guns to go and fight. It really just sounds like Republican Jesus to me. Like gun toting, he's not peaceful.
Well, in the grim dark of the far future, Christian, there's only war.
That's it?
Yeah, basically. So what's kind of interesting, the Horus Heresy takes place in around year 30,000. So instead of 40,000, like the rest of Warhammer is taking place now.
Okay.
It's like 10,000 years in the past now.
So in this book, who are they fighting?
So they're fighting the Greenskin, which is the orcs.
Okay.
Eldar, which are basically elves. And then now they're starting to fight the forces of chaos. So there's like in the book I'm reading now, which is the second book, they're fighting Nurgle, which is like the god of pestilence and decay and sickness.
I'm surprised the humans don't team up with the elves. You think they would go
no,
after the
dude?
orcs?
The Emperor hates Xenos, which are aliens.
But technically they're aliens. They're going around different places.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm not trying to defend the Emperor. Like the whole point of that whole all of the lore is that there's no good guys. Everyone's bad, basically.
Okay.
The Tau are kind of okay. But yeah, basically what happened is during our golden age of technology, humans kind of spread out amongst the stars and stuff and colonized different worlds. But then there was technology basically, we forgot technology. We started warring amongst ourselves and fell into this they call it the age of strife, where it's just like Mad Max era, where everyone on Earth is just like riding around on motorcycles trying to kill each other and stuff.
For gas. Yeah,
exactly. And the Emperor basically rose up to unite mankind, and he started as a warlord, and I mean he's still a warlord basically. But his idea was he was going to go on this great crusade, find all these lost colonies of humanity and bring them back into the fold and create one Imperium of Man where they are all, one tribe again, essentially.
Okay.
And so sometimes, but that includes him sending Space Marines down to these planets who maybe for 10,000, 20,000 years have never seen another Earthling. And they come in, they're like, hey, you're under the Emperor now. He's like your boss. And
put on this suit. Here's a gun.
Yeah, and a lot of them are like, no, we have our own kings or queens or whatever, or presidents or whatever. And they're like, well, if you don't do it, we're just going to murder all of you. And so they just take over the entire planet. So yeah, it's I mean, it's really gruesome and stuff. But what's cool about these stories I'm reading is, it starts before the heresy happens, and like everyone looks up to Horus. Like he's basically, you know, if like the emperor is God, he's Jesus, right? But now it's like, what if Jesus fucking went against God and stabbed him with a sword?
Is that what's happening? Or
I mean, it's going to happen. I know the overall events of. So basically, he falls to chaos. He gets like seduced by the power of these evil demons, and he convinces some of the other Primarchs to join him. And then, of course, there's the loyalist Primarchs who stay with the Emperor and defend him. And he ends up killing one of his brothers named Sanguinius, he basically has big angel wings and he looks fucking like a hot bod guy.
They did something similar with that in Warcraft 3.
Mm-hmm.
Well, like the main leader guy, and I forgot his name, and then he gets a sword that makes him strong, but it turns him evil.
Yeah,
so it seems like it's kind of a common theme in these types of games.
Yeah, I mean it's a lot of fantasy type tropes thing. I mean it's kind of like Anakin Skywalker falling to the dark side kind of thing, But yeah, it's the books are really good. I've been really happy with them so far, which I was kind of surprised. I didn't know what to expect because. They're basically based off of a board game or a tabletop game, and it's kind of crazy to think that much effort went into a novel based on that. But
the only tabletop book series I read, and I should pick it up because I think I got to like book 7, was the Drizzt novels. Those were kind of cool. I mean, they're quick reads. They're nothing I think that'll wow anyone, but it was kind of cool how like he expanded the lore of like, and I forgot the area, but it's an actual like territory in Dungeons and Dragons.
Okay.
But I enjoyed them.
Yeah. That's cool. Yeah, I might have to check those out. Another thing that's kind of cool is like just because like I've been learning about more and more 40K lore, and like currently in Warhammer 40K, like basically all of the Imperium of Mankind are basically religious zealots, and they like worship the Emperor as a god. Like they pray to him, and there's a Inquisition chapter who basically they're like space nuns and stuff like that. Fabian. She says she plays the Adeptus Sororitas, which are warrior nuns.
Nice.
And so, but it's crazy because the Emperor actually, like, he hated religion, and he would go like wipe out planets who had religion. They're like, you're not religious anymore.
But he's a deity.
Well, he's not. He says, no, I'm just yes, I'm stronger, bigger, better, and I have crazy powers, but I'm not a god, and you shouldn't worship me as.
But he's immortal.
He's also immortal, yeah.
So he has like all the marks.
He has all the marks, but he hates religion because he's like, religion causes a downfall of societies.
But everyone worships him.
But yeah, so in these books, that's not the case. Like they're all like, oh, the Emperor, beloved of all, most beloved of all kind of thing. And it's like, okay, like they kind of worship him, but they worship him as like a leader.
Okay.
Right? But as I'm reading these books, you see like there's this like kind of an underground following who start like handing out these little leaflet books, like basically praising him as a god. So you're actually seeing that religion start to spring up. And it's crazy to think that from when these books take place to where the game is now, like they've totally changed. It's pretty cool. Like I like seeing how that changed. They really put a lot of thought into these books. So pretty cool. Check them out. It's called the Horus Heresy is what I'm reading right now. I am on book 2 of the Horus Heresy. So I think there's like 30 Horus Heresy books or something.
Yeah,
crazy.
It's the same thing with the Drizzt novels. I think there's like 20 or 30.
And I mean, you don't have to start at the beginning. I think you should because it's definitely cool. And you don't have to know a lot about the lore, but the more you know, it's kind of cool because you can start seeing things like fall into place. It's fun. I'm excited to see where it goes. But you can literally find, if you want to find out more about like the Imperial Astra Militarum, who are just like the regular humans fighting amongst the crazy space marines. And there's books based off of them. There's ones based off of like Terminator squads, which are the guys in the big giant armor kind of thing, like the bigger than a normal space marine. But I like the ones that are all about space marines, the Adeptus Astartes, who are like genetically modified super soldiers, basically.
Nice.
Who wear the space armor and stuff.
So Captain America with armor.
Yeah, Captain America with like Tony Stark Hulkbuster armor, basically. Nice. And also like guns that shoot rounds that explode.
Nice.
and chainsaw swords.
So is that where
And he spits acid.
I'm assuming the chainsaw guns, I'm assuming, was that taken from, I forgot the name of the
Gears
game.
of War.
Yeah, or was Gears of War taken from...
Well, seeing as Warhammer 40K came out in like 1985, pretty much all StarCraft, Warcraft, and Gears of War have all
fair enough.
taken bits and pieces off. Though I will say in Warhammer 40K, they don't have chainsaw guns. They have chain swords, which is just a sword but with a chainsaw blade. And then they have bolter guns, which are like big machine guns that shoot these little self-propelled bullets that penetrate and then explode.
Nice.
Yeah, they're fucking sick. They also have las guns, which are laser guns, basically. So, pretty cool. All right, we are going to take a quick little break, and then when we get back, I'm going to try to convince Cristian of some anime series to watch. We'll be right back. And we're back. All right, Cristian, you've been getting into Gundams.
Yes, I just got a couple ones. I'm excited to start building them. I honestly didn't think I was going to get into it being that first one until it started going like halfway, and I was like, oh, I'm actually enjoying myself. So now I'm looking forward to working on some. And now I got cool tools to use with them. So
To make your life a little easier. So, have you ever watched any Gundam Wing, Mobile Suit Gundam, any of that?
Does Transformer count?
No,
No.
it does not count because
Then-
it's not the same universe and they're not Gundams. They're not made out of
Then-
Gundanium, Cristian.
No.
Okay.
Unless Pacific Rim counts.
It does not count. Those are Jaegers or whatever. But a lot of these, mech type cartoons, I don't know what the original one was, maybe like Robotech or something like that. But a lot of them have their basis in Japanese animation. But you famously are not a big anime fan, right?
Not.
You hate anime. I think
that's
you've said.
not
I
the
think you've
case.
said that before. You're like,
No.
God, if anime was wiped off the face of the earth, it would be a good day.
Not true.
I'm pretty sure that's what you
Because
said. Verbatim.
I've said Dragon Ball Z is probably my favorite because I watched that growing up. There was another one in that would play in the Spanish channel. It was Super Campeones, just means super champions, and that was a soccer one. That one was pretty dope. And I'm not even I only watch soccer when it's the World Cup. Outside of that, I don't care too much.
Right.
But those two, and then there was another one, Caballeros del Zodiaco, which was the Zodiac Cowboys. That one was kind of cool. Those are probably in the Miyazaki ones.
That Studio Ghibli's.
Yes.
Ghibli's, whatever you.
Outside of that, I'm not very well versed, but that's not to say that I don't like it. It's just sometimes I've tried watching anime, and I think my brain is just too Western, where there's some themes that I just don't get, and I think it's just like
tentacle sex.
I mean, that I get.
I mean, I get it.
I get it. Fucking, they're soft, squishy.
Yeah.
You know?
They could go, there's a bunch of them. They can go anywhere.
Yeah.
Who knows
Probably
where they're going to end
slippery,
up.
you know?
I get it.
When suctions, when you want some good grip, I get it.
I get it. All right. So I've kind of compiled a list in my brain because I didn't actually prepare and write these down of some animes that I think are good starter animes. They're not too crazy where you have to understand Japanese fairy folk tales and stuff to really enjoy them. But good action, maybe some humor and whatnot. And I think hopefully if you watch any one of these, I think you'll have a good time. Okay. First and foremost, and I've said it before, is Cowboy Bebop.
Oh, actually, yes. I haven't seen the whole series. But yeah, that's actually a really good one.
Yeah. So Cowboy Bebop is one of my all-time favorite ones. Came out in 1998. It's only one season long.
I love the goofy. I was confused. Is Ed a boy or a girl?
I think.
Or it doesn't matter.
I'm trying to remember. I don't think they ever fully disclose it, but I think he's supposed to be a girl.
I always thought Ed was funny, and I loved the smart dog. Yeah.
Einstein. Yeah, Spike Spiegel. And
Spike is the best, he's that casual dude who just goes into a situation, oh, it looks terrible. Nah, I can handle it and just whoops people's ass with kung fu.
Definitely a great soundtrack. animation's a little old, but it's it's a great story and super sad. And
I wish that they had done a live action with Keanu as Spike.
yeah, they were working on it, but I don't know what happened to it. Cowboy Bebop, that's a good starter. It's short. It's 1 season long. I think it's like 20 episodes in a movie.
I think I saw the movie and it was terrible compared to the show.
It was fine, but it was a weird, like when you make a movie, it's kind of like the X-Files movies, where like
I enjoyed the first X-File movie.
the
I haven't
first
seen the second one.
yeah, the first X-File movie. There's actually been 3, haven't
Has
there?
it 3? Oh shit!
Pretty sure there's 3. Doesn't matter. But like the first X-Files movie, it's like its own thing. Like it's its own plot line. It ties in some things from the show, but for the most part, it's a self-contained thing. But then, like, I think the second movie is like a Monster of the Week thing, which is kind of what the Cowboy Bebop movie is. So it's like, do you really have to watch it? Does it have anything really to do with the series? No, not really.
I actually want to rewatch. Now that you mentioned X-Files, I want to rewatch all
Fucking
those.
X-Files is so good. But we're not here to talk about X-Files.
But yes, Cowboy Bebop, I've seen a few episodes. I did enjoy it.
Yeah. So that's a good one. Another one, more recent one, and I think it's just ending or it's just about to end, Attack on Titan.
I started that and I appreciated how brutal it was, and then I don't remember. I think I got to episode 4 or 5, and I don't remember. I think another show came out, and I was like, "Oh shit, I really want to watch this," and then I kind of just dropped off.
Yeah. So one thing I'll say about Attack on Titan, at least, so I've watched through season 2 or 3, I think. So I need to catch up on it. But one thing I really liked about it, the animation is amazing.
Yes.
All the action and stuff when they're slinging on their I forget what they call those things. The things that shoot little grappling hooks out all over the place. It's amazing. Like they use just enough CG to make the backgrounds look really cool and all the motion look really good, but all the actual characters are well drawn.
Yeah, I found out very quickly. Don't like any character too much. Just I was like Game of Thrones. Like, I thought this is the main character. He gets fucking eaten. Like, okay, not at all.
It's definitely one of those ones. It's very very violent. Lots of people just like who you've grown attached to just get murdered without any like warning kind of thing. So, but very good. The story was really interesting too. So I'm excited to catch up on it. And I found it. I think most of it's on Hulu now.
I got to the point where one of the humans like transformed into a Titan.
Ooh, yeah.
And then that's kind of where I stopped.
Okay, so you've watched like 4 episodes.
Like I said, like 4 or 5 episodes.
Yeah, definitely check that one out. It's a good one. It's a modern one, and I think it's ending, so you don't have to like wait around a million years to watch all of it, which is cool. One of those ones that you can't really, finish because it's still coming out, but I think it's still very good. My Hero Academia. Have you heard of that one?
He sounds familiar.
So
that's not the One Punch guy, is it?
No, that's One Punch Man.
Okay,
I mean, you can watch that one. That one's great. One Punch Man is kind of a it's almost like a kind of a spoof of Goku. Okay. Because basically this guy I forget how he gets his one punch power. I think he does like 1 million push-ups or something like that. And like he's like this this like whatever dude who gets saved by some hero guy at one point. He's like, I'm gonna be like that one day. So I think it's push-ups. It's something stupid. Okay. Where he's just like, I'll just see if I can do 10 million push-ups, and if I can do that, I'll be strong enough to be a hero myself. And he like works out so hard his hair falls out and stuff. It's all this stupid stuff. Okay. And then he eventually has the power to defeat any combatant with one punch.
Anyone.
Superman. Like gigantic monsters, like gigantic robots, and everyone's like, "Oh my god, this guy's so crazy!" And he's just this like dumb normal dude who just worked out a bunch. And they're like, "Oh my god, how did you get so powerful?" He's like, "Yeah, I just so I did a bunch of push-ups." And they're like, "What?" Okay. Yeah, it's funny, but it's kind of like Goku, where he can basically beat anyone, but this guy's even stronger because one punch. But no, the one I was talking about. My Hero Academia it's basically a school for superheroes where in this world, like a certain percentage of people are born with a quirk, they call it, which is a superpower.
Okay.
And
so they're mutants.
Yeah, essentially. And so, and it can range from, something like super strength and shooting fire out of your hands to like this chick has like earphone connectors that come out of her shins that she can like plug into her into these other ones coming out of her ears and shoots sonic waves, like crazy shit.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a million different, and they do these cool things where on screen they'll kind of show like, oh, this is so and so. Here's their quirk, and like their quirk might be like, sonic boom, and you don't know what that is until you see them in action.
Okay.
But it's really cool. It's all about this young kid who like idolizes heroes, and but he was born a normie. Like he did not get any cool powers, but through some things that happen in the show, he gets powers, and it's all about him going to school and trying to be a superhero. So pretty cool. It's got some really good like comedy type stuff in it too. Because all these kids like kind of live together and stuff, and they have to deal with their funny quirks. I think season 5 just started coming out on Hulu, so it's one of those ones you can't just watch and then it's over. It's still ongoing. But
Hulu, great. They got some great stuff, but it's fucking commercials that I can't take off.
Yeah,
fuck.
Yeah, I got the fucking commercial free because I started watching anime.
I can't because I signed up through Disney Plus.
That was a mistake.
And then I was like, when they're smashed together, I was like, oh, you know what? I don't mind paying extra for no commercials. And it's like one of those you can't upgrade.
Yeah, you can't do it when it's all bundled together like that. Okay, so we got Cowboy Bebop, we got My Hero Academia, Attack on Titan, One Punch Man is a kind of a fun bonus one in there. Now I think probably the last one I'd want to talk about. Let's see, there's so many freaking good ones. I'd say probably this one's kind of a weird one. Well, I'll give you two really weird ones.
If you say Naruto or One Piece, I don't know if I can get into
No.
Okay.
I would never recommend those for someone just starting an anime.
Okay.
Because first of all, One Piece is still going on. It started. I wonder when One Piece started. Because I want to say it started in like the late 80s.
Jesus.
97. Okay, so it started in Shonen Jump in 1997 and is ongoing now. Like it's continuing to go. So, I mean, that's like hundreds of episodes.
Yeah.
There's no way I would recommend that for anyone to start.
I've just seen some of the characters. I'm like, I don't know if I could get into that.
Naruto, yeah, One Piece. I started trying to watch it, and just not for me. I don't give a shit about pirates. That's just not something I'm into. But Naruto, I actually really enjoy. The stories and characters are all awesome. And it's one of those ones where you can like pick a favorite character, and it may not be Naruto, right? Like Naruto's not my favorite character in that show. But everyone gets a little like day in the sun kind of thing.
I guess like with that one,
it's long.
I've seen a lot of people who like Naruto, like almost have to get the headbands or become like super, super into it. And I don't know if I'm ready for that commitment, man.
Well, I will say this. If you watch Naruto, there will be episodes where you cry.
Okay.
And I will say a lot of anime does a very good job of having very emotional episodes. Cowboy Bebop has a couple of those. Naruto for sure. Dragon Ball Z less so because everyone just comes back to life.
Just wish them back.
People don't come back to life in Naruto.
Okay.
When they die, they die. But because Naruto, considering there's Naruto Shippuden, and then Boruto, which is now his son or daughter. I've never watched Boruto. There's like 600 episodes or something like that. I'm not going to make you, I'm not going to suggest that you start there, even though I think it's very good. Also, when you have any long series like that, you get a bunch of filler episodes, which are episodes where the TV show anime has gotten ahead of the manga, the comic books.
Okay.
And so they have to create an episode because they have a weekly schedule to do. And so they make something up. And I hate that.
That's usually like we're not fighting, we're shopping. Or
exactly. Like, so there's
Dragon Ball Z where like they just have to do something silly.
Yeah. And he's not terrible at that because considering, some of these other series we talked about, it's not a very long series, between, Dragon Ball Z from the Saiyan saga all the way through the Android saga or Cell saga, Boo saga. It's long, but it's not ridiculously long. So there's not that much filler. There is some like Goku's on his way to Namek and it's just people charging up for an episode. That's a filler episode. Naruto, they will literally go like, oh, I'm going to find the best ramen place in town. And it's like, Jesus Christ, why am I watching this?
Gene, I'm surprised you haven't thrown any hentai yet.
Okay, if you want to watch hentai, the last good starter anime, I would say I'll give you a choice. Do you like sci-fi horror or do you like fantasy horror?
Well, fuck, man, both are good. They're both horror. You know what? Hit me with both. Fuck it.
Okay, so for fantasy horror, there's one called Berserk, where it's
not Berserker. I think I've seen parts of that as a kid.
No, it's not Berserker. It's Berserk.
Okay.
With this guy named Guts. That's the main character. And he's got a fucking Cloud Strife gigantic sword.
Nice.
Buster sword. But he's like a kind of a knight. And basically there's some it's super violent.
Okay.
And then essentially it goes on and he like joins this traveling group of mercenaries kind of thing, and then they start fighting demons. It's fucking dope.
Nice.
I will say the original series does end kind of abruptly because like some crazy shit happens and then it's like, oh shit, it's over. Continues in the manga, which is also super violent. But they have since kind of done like I forget what they're called. They're called like the doesn't matter. There's a new like versions of them that they've kind of updated them, so you can actually continue the story on those OVAs or original.
Okay, I'm assuming this was the fantasy one.
That's the fantasy one.
Okay,
because it's demons, knights, swords and sorcery kind of stuff. The sci-fi one, and this is a weird one, but I fucking love it. It's called Gantz. Gantz.
Okay, this one I've heard of it because I used to work for Viz Pictures.
Yeah.
And they did the live action. They showed it.
Right. Yeah, so there's been live action versions of it. There's also been a CG one that recently came out on Netflix. But I like the original Blu-ray or DVD version or whatever. And I used to have it. I think I lent it to someone and they never gave it back because I used to have it. But essentially, the premise is like there's people from all over Tokyo or whatever who have died in some sort of accident or something like that. But just as they die, they like two guys get hit by a train, saving some guy off of the tracks kind of thing. They get hit by a train and you're like, oh shit, those guys just died. But then you see them and they kind of like rematerialize in this like apartment room and they're like, what the fuck? I thought I just got hit by a train. And there's a bunch of other people there and they're all like wondering like what's going on. And there's this big black ball in the background. It's just an orb, know? And it basically tells them that they're part of this game now. And the ball is called Gantz. I think that's what the ball is called. And they're part of this game now where they have to basically, every night or whatever, they have to go out into the city and take out these alien threats that are like, secretly trying to take over Tokyo. And they have to dress in these black, spandex suit type things. And they have these guns to go fight these aliens. And every time they go out there, it's always like a weird, twisted, it looks like some random dude, who's kind of mumbling to himself. But then he turns into a giant tentacle monster and murders people. Lots of people get murdered in it. Super violent and super weird.
So if they're dead and then their dead selves die, what happens then?
So what happens is basically if they have to go in, kill the alien, and once they've taken out and killed the alien, they basically get it's kind of like Star Trek where you beam in and beam out kind of thing.
Okay.
But it looks a little different. They do it layer by layer, kind of like a 3D printer.
Okay.
And so as long as they survive until the alien is killed, they get rematerialized back in the apartment and all their wounds are healed.
Okay.
And then they can go back and actually live their normal life as if they weren't dead again. But then they get summoned back to this apartment. And basically, I think the goal was you get so many wins, you can literally buy yourself out of the game kind of thing. Huh. And so it's very twisted, very interesting. And I remember it's I saw that series on, I don't know, the Anime Network or Crunchyroll or something. And I was like, dude, I've never seen anything like this. And I still haven't. No one has done anything crazy. And I read a little bit about it. The guy who wrote it, I forget his name, but he just had a weird, twisted imagination, and I love it.
That sounds cool. That one actually sounds pretty cool.
Yeah, Gantz, it's called. All right, you want some fun fan service ones / hentai ones?
Sure.
Okay.
Actually, before we ran out of time, I started watching Invincible, and you should watch that on Amazon.
Invincible?
Yeah.
Is that the one based off of the comic book?
Yes.
Oh, okay, cool.
Robert Kirkman
comic book.
I think it's only like 3 or 4 episodes right now.
Very cool. All right, so here's some bonus ones just for funsies. High School of the Dead.
High School of the Dead.
Yep, it's a zombie anime where basically zombies just start showing up at a high school, obviously, and then a bunch of high school kids have to like fight their way out of it. But all the chicks in it are super hot. They find weird excuses to have their boobs jiggling around and stuff. It's not porn necessarily.
I don't know, man. That makes me kind of I know they're cartoons, but they're underage. That seems
no. It's Japanese high school. Everyone's overage.
Oh God, okay.
It's great. It's really funny. There's a lot of like funny moments in it. And what's funny is I actually bought it on DVD because I was like, oh, zombies sounds cool. And there's like a chick with a samurai sword chopping a zombie's head off.
Yeah.
I'm like, this seems like a fun anime. I started watching it, and then like a few episodes in, I'm like, what is this? Like, why is her shirt off? I don't understand this. And it just like, it keeps like building and it gets more ridiculous. I feel like maybe it didn't start off as like a fan service kind of super lewd show, but it definitely ended that way. But it's a good time. Lots of cool zombie killing and stuff. There's like one guy in the class who like, he's the guy who always fantasized about a zombie apocalypse. So he's like, let's go back to my house. He's like making bayonets out of like kitchen knives and stuff. He's like, I've prepped my whole life for this.
I mean, it was good prep time.
I love that guy. And if you want like a crate, like I don't know that many hentais, but I do know Bible Black. Have you heard of that one?
No.
It's one of the most famous hentais out there.
Bible Black? Okay.
It's called Bible Black.
I'll do research later,
No, we're going to Google it right now.
This is great for everyone listening.
Yeah, exactly. So Bible Black, it's like, I don't really know the story of it, I'll be honest, but I know there's like some Satan demon worshiper type stuff, and then lots of ladies who grow penises instantly.
Oh, they're really going at it.
There you go. So that's the only title I know because it left quite an impression when I first saw it.
Oh, there's just an orgy right there.
Yeah, there's all sorts of crazy orgies and stuff, and I think there's been multiple versions of it, but yeah, you should check that out. I remember the animation was actually pretty good. I was pretty impressed with it. I think I saw that at Fanime. So at Fanime in San Jose, not that we get to have conventions at the moment, but one of the tradition things that they have there is on, I think it's Friday, Saturday, Sunday night, late night. Because what's cool about that anime convention and
It's 24 hours, right?
It's 24 hours. Like not everything is 24 hours, obviously. But they're showing anime 24 hours a day, and they have like a video arcade open 24 hours a day.
Were you the one that told me that like when they're showing the hentai, they have to go do like a hands check?
Yeah, they do a hand check.
Jesus.
So they have these things called hentai nights, where basically they show hentai, from I don't know, call it 10 p.m. to 2 a.m. or some shit like that. And so it's in a big dark theater room. And you're basically watching porn with like 100 other weebs, and not really my scene. I've been in there one time, and that's where I've learned about Bible Black.
The floor was really sticky, so I got out.
Yeah, like, oh god, I think I stepped in gum. It's not gum. But yeah, so what's funny is, they'll everyone's watching this thing, and like some people like they'll call out funny things and stuff. Everyone. It's some people go in just as a joke to hang out with buddies, but they do have ushers who go by every couple minutes, and they go with a flashlight and they go down the whole, they just look down the whole row or whatever to make sure people aren't jerking it.
I bet you they all have a game like, let's see if we get caught.
Yeah. Part of the danger is what excites me. Yeah, definitely not my scene. My friend Mark, who actually wrote our theme song, he used to love going in there. Fucking weirdo. We used to play a game at Anime Expo and Fanime called Mark Buys a Hentai, where we find, because they have these tables that are just solid porn. Mm-hmm. And so we find the craziest like names.
And you guys just make them buy.
And whoever we all decide has found the craziest name, Mark buys it. And then we'll go to the hotel room and watch it together.
Of course.
Yeah.
You have to.
And jerk each other off,
Nice.
just suck each other's dicks.
That's
yeah,
what
like
friends do.
some of the good ones we found. One was called do you know the Milfin Man?
The Milfin Man?
Yeah, the Milfin Man.
Oh God.
Do you know the Milfin Man?
I don't even know I don't want to know what it's about.
It's about fucking MILFs.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And then there's another one called the Midnight Sleazy Train, where it's just people getting groped on trains. There's a bunch of great ones. But yeah, it's a fun game. That's a whole nother episode, Christian. If you want us to do a whole episode on hentai,
I'll have to do my research.
we'll have to do our research. We just come in, we don't even look each other in the eye like,
God.
did you watch anything? No, I didn't see anything I liked.
Not at all.
But check those out. I think Attack on Titan is a really good one. Cowboy Bebop's amazing. One Punch Man's a fun one too. But also Gantz. If you can find it, I've been trying to find like a Blu-ray copy of it. And that's one thing that sucks about anime is you're trying to find because of Japanese distribution and stuff like that. Sometimes it's hard.
Just go to Japantown. I'm sure you'll find it.
Yeah, I'm sure. But Gantz is a good one too. And Berserk. All really good ones. Let us know in the comments what are some of your favorite animes and what's a good one for a beginner to start on. Something that's not 700 episodes long. Like Bleach is a really good one too.
That's one that David really loves.
Yeah.
I remember growing up, he would watch a lot.
I liked it too, but it's like 200 episodes. Not as crazy as Naruto or One Piece, but it's up there. Demon Slayer is a new one that's kind of cool, but it's only one season. It kind of leaves on a cliffhanger. So there's good ones out there, but those ones I gave you are good starter lists. But let us know what you guys think. Post them down in the comments on YouTube. Tweet them at us. Send us an Instagram message or whatever. You can find all that info at nerdswithfriendspodcast.com. You can also support us by becoming one of our patrons. Oh, fuck. Speaking of patrons, we got a new patron.
Oh, nice.
It's your fiancée, Sabrina.
Oh, yeah. I already thanked her.
It was a little surprising that she wasn't already a patron.
Right? Right?
Just kidding.
I know you're listening. No.
Just kidding. We thank you so much, Sabrina. We appreciate.
And I think she did the episode one, right?
I actually don't recall. I need to look at the email again. But if she did, look forward to another patron's suggested episode. And your brother is still a $10 patron. So if he has another one, we can also do another one for him.
Give us a new addiction. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I want you to do an episut on heroin.
Yeah. Well.
Okay.
Promise is a promise.
Yeah, I like snorting it. But you guys can become one of our patrons as well. Patreon.com/nerdswithfriends for all that info. Christian, I hope you enjoyed your birthday presents.
Yes.
Get some model building under your belt.
Now I got to find some time to read.
Yeah, there you go. And to all the nerds out there, remember, you're not alone. You're with friends. This is Nerds with Friends. Thank you and good night.